Welcome back to a spicy new episode of All Gas, No Trash. My name's Josh. Here today with good buddy Adam.
Yes, the human carcinoma.
Human carcinogen.
The human carcinogen known. Yeah,
Yeah, we have to put that Prop 65 thing up every time you walk into a room.
man, that shit sucks when you go to Domino's Pizza or what have you, and they tell you the products that we make here and throw in the oven may result in cancer. Just so you know.
Just by the way.
And then you go home and take your pizza and you're like, I'm gonna fucking die because of this,
You're probably going to die because of the diabetes you get from eating the pizza.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Not the carcinogens. Anyways, today we're going to talk about artistic integrity and how it plays into receiving feedback, either positive or negative feedback from your fans, producers, the record label, like fuck whoever.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. So did we do all the plugs?
No,
already?
I'm going to do that real quick. I thought you had something to say. That's why I was pausing.
All right, now go for it.
All right, anyways, if you want to follow us, you can follow us on social media at Game Rage Magazine on Instagram, TikTok, and what's that other fucking one called?
Substack?
Oh, no, YouTube. And we were also on Substack, but YouTube's more important. Fuck Substack, all right? But go to YouTube, Game Rage Magazine. If you want to go on Twitter, you can go to Game Rage Mag there. If you want to follow Adam in this show specifically, you can go to Instagram and follow along at All Gas, No Trash Official. And if you like to read and enhance your knowledge through deciphering written language, you can go to substack.com/at All Gas, No Trash Official there. All right, now go ahead, good buddy.
All right, so I came up with this topic because I was watching this clip of Howard Stern and Billy Corgan talking about in the past when Billy Corgan was working on music, that everybody was telling him that he should just make the hits, that he should just stick to making. Fuck, I forget. I always mix up the title of this song, but I think it's Bullet with Butterfly Wings. That they were telling him to make more of that. And it just makes me think in grand scheme about what Billy Corgan was trying to accomplish as an artist when he was making his first albums, like Siamese Dream and Melancholy. I forget the fucking title of that album, but that he was dabbling in things on albums that I don't know how people received them, but regardless, those were things that he wanted to do. But
as opposed to things that
would sell,
told, or that would sell. Yeah, okay.
And maybe the fans feel the other way, because I can't remember the name of that song. I used to be a little boy.
Dude, I think everybody's played that on like Rock Band, because I think it was really big on Rock Band back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I love that song, and he's saying that everybody wanted Bullet with Butterfly Wings or 1979, all that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, man, I don't know how far off those people that he was working with were wrong, because now that Smashing Pumpkins is, far removed from their best days, right? Now that Billy Corgan just kind of gets to do what he actually wants, there are a few songs that are interesting that he's released recently on his most recent albums, but largely it's all kind of crap and kind of weird and strange and boring. And that's when like holding on to your artistic integrity, I think, takes you in the wrong direction, right? But then if you go too far to the other side where people are telling you what you should be doing, you might end up making something that is totally far removed from what you would normally fucking make. Like I can't think of an example, but imagine a pop artist, right? Yeah. A pop artist is going to have numerous writers and numerous producers trying to write a hit song that is not really so much personal to the artist themselves. It's just, what could we make that's going to be a hit?
Yeah, it's formulaic instead of, it takes the soul out of it, right?
Yeah,
because it's they're following like a formula or trying to do a math problem out of musical piece.
Yeah, because Britney Spears could have been replaced by literally anybody for the songs that were made.
Well,
made that for her, right?
Boy bands are a great example of the reverse of artistic integrity.
Yeah,
because they literally just could put anyone in there.
Yeah,
and it didn't matter who it was. They weren't writing the songs. Mm-hmm. Someone else was. They were just doing the performative action of doing the song. And they had no investment in the fucking songs or whatever. It was just, oh yeah, go out there and do this and let's record this and then we'll go on the road and perform it. That's basically it. And yeah, if one of them decides to get uppity and want more money, oh, that's cool. You're gone. Yeah, here's another one. But throw in another fucking averagely looking decent fella. That's it. And then you're good to go.
Yeah.
They copied, they just did that. Every record label had their own boy band.
Fucking 98 Degrees.
98 Degrees, NSYNC. You had the Backstreet Boys. You had fucking shit. There's a multitude of boy bands that existed throughout the history of
O-Town.
O-Town, yeah. So if you take that, and to me, I think that's kind of how like modern pop became. It's now formulaic. Cool, we have the formula for how to make money. It's how to turn music into money is basically the formula. And it's like, cool, you get any decently attractive individual, potentially, and you throw, okay, cool.
With a modicum of musical talent.
If they can sing, cool, great. If they can sling, and if they can't, that's cool. That's what we invented auto-tune for.
Yeah.
And now you don't even need to be able to sing. If you can dance, oh, cool. You don't need to be able to sing. As long as you can dance well, fuck yeah, we'll make that your whole gimmick. And we'll just throw it out there. And then you're just doing what you're told as opposed to, and then when you get out, let's say you get out from underneath the record label and you go out on your own and then you fail because, well, you actually suck. Like nobody actually likes what you really can do. And sure, I'm sure there's a lot of artists that need that guiding hand of the feedback from the label or production to tell them, hey, this is what you do. And if you look at like, you can look at major bands. Metallica is an example. That Saint Anger album, they brought in a couple of different producers or whatever to help them make the fucking album.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, let's go this direction or give it to me like this or give it to me like that. And then that kind of shapes how the thing becomes. It's no longer, once you insert that extra party, it's no longer, what the band is doing and making the music. It's now influenced by this other person's opinion.
Which isn't terrible, because that's like if there's a collaborative nature and it's on equal grounds for both the producers, the writers, and even the band themselves.
Right.
I think that's fine. Because if you fall in it, let's just use like AC/DC as an example, right? They've been writing the same shit for like 60 years.
Yeah.
And that's where, and it sells too, right?
Yeah.
But that's just fucking formulaic and boring as fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how people could still listen to AC/DC now with having the same goddamn songs played over and over again. And that's where I think it's problematic, that if you don't have somebody stepping in and saying something, and it again, it's like and you go in the opposite route. You have too many people telling you what to do, that shit becomes problematic too. So it's like somewhere in between. It's got to be like Quincy Jones and fucking Michael Jackson. I don't even think they actually liked each other, but they knew, at least Quincy Jones knew what to do with Michael Jackson's songs. Because there was like a whole story about Want to Be Starting Something that Michael Jackson didn't want, like the riff, the doom, he didn't want to start with the song with that or something like that. Well, he's like, Quincy Jones told me, like, no, fuck that. You don't know what you're talking about. You got your head in your ass.
Yeah.
Or it could be fucking Rick Rubin working with Red Hot Chili Peppers and telling them, like, hey, you guys have done everything as far as like metal, funk, or whatever they were doing in the past. It's time to do something different. And then that's how we got Anthony Kiedis writing Under the Bridge. It's hard, something.
Yeah.
There's no,
whatever.
Which is, it's like nothing that Red Hot Chili Peppers had done before. And I think that's where that compromise of artistic integrity versus feedback, that there's something of a balance that you could have to create something great. But Yeah, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there is a balance there that you can work within. And then there's also the other side of it of being the artist saying, I don't make my art for those that don't get it. I make my art for those that do, right? And those are the ones that probably are not going to be as successful, but they are the most artistically pure because they are truly doing what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, if you go with any sort of management or any sort of record label or anything, anybody backing you with money, they're gonna have a say in what you do. There are strings attached. You don't get to just continue doing what you want to do, right? So that's the trade-off. Is you're trading off some of your not integrity, but I guess like some of your
creative decisions.
Yeah, there you go. You're trading some of your creativity for money because now you may do something and go, you know what? We don't really like this, so let's not put that out. Let's do this thing instead. Okay, well, guess what? And I know how it's always like portrayed as, oh, the label and like you're working with the label, but let's be real. You're just an employee at that point. Like you're not fucking, this is not a partnership like anymore. Once you put pen to paper and their money is involved, you're now working for them. And at the end of the day, you're either going to do what they say or they're just going to drop you and get rid of you.
Yeah, I guess I got a real world example.
Yeah,
one closer to home. So there's this band called the Altons, right?
Okay.
And they're signed to a record label just down the street from us in Riverside, Penrose Records, which I've talked about in the past, right?
Yeah.
Penrose Records is a soul-oriented, West Coast soul-oriented label, right?
Yeah.
The band, the Altons, can do those things, right? They can do those things. And their music to this point, released on that record label, has been that, right?
Okay.
But this band, I think, is capable of more. And I don't know if the band is, I don't know if the record label is going to tell them, I don't know if you should be releasing that. Like the thing that I would look for them to do, or what I would love to see them do, is that they have a rock oriented element to their music, right?
Yeah.
But they haven't done that since they've been on the record label. And I would love to see them bring that Southern rock sound back, that Bayou sound, like Creedence Clearwater Revival or Southern rock or sludge rock or whatever you want to call it. I would love to see them integrate that into their music so it just kind of rounds out their sound as opposed to what they've already been releasing. But I don't think they're going to be able to do that.
No, because that's risk. That's risky. Why would the record label or management, whoever, want to take a risk on something that they don't know what the outcome is going to be?
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, when you're running any kind of business, it's really more so about risk taking and what your level or tolerance level is for risk, right? And if you're concerned with a spreadsheet at the end of the day and making sure that your shit's in the black and not in the red at the end of the year, well, I'm not going to spend more money to have you do something that's going to give me an unknown level of production, right? Like that's how they're going to look at it. If I know you're going to sell an album, right? That's the same shit that you've been doing. And I know I'm going to have to put in X amount of dollars, but I know I'm very highly likely to get X amount of dollars back out. You're doing that fucking thing that's going to guarantee me I'm going to get this money.
Or keeps our doors open another 6 months.
Yeah, right. And that's kind of, because they're like that's specifically the example is like they're a smaller record label, right?
Yeah, they only have a handful of artists,
right.
But
so their tolerance for risk is likely zero, because if you have a bad album, fuck man, we might not be able to make the next one. Like if you have a bad fucking string, we might be fucked because of this. So like we got to make sure we get our money.
But also they're kind of like a sister offshoot label of the larger record label, which is Daftone Records, right?
Uh-huh.
They're like a sister label.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they also have, you're kind of also pinned by joining them because that's the sound, whatever sound you imagine for Daftone Records, that also is associated with Penrose Records to some degree. Yeah. So like even when you sign up to be part of this, you're also kind of pigeonholing your sound to be just exclusively that.
Yeah.
In name alone also. Well, like, yeah, I guess.
It's, well, again, you're trading the creativity to do something else for some money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm sure if they wanted to go off and do something like what you're talking about, yeah, they'd have to wait until they were no longer signed with that label anymore and probably do it independently. But then you're going to have no money behind it. You're going to have no, you're going to have to pay for your studio time or whatever to record shit. Yeah. And hey, that shit adds up. Right. So, I mean, shit, dude, we should fucking start the goddamn podcast studio rental business, because there's motherfuckers that do that and people pay. It's not cheap either. I mean, yeah, you could pay hourly to come sit in there and use equipment and do this shit.
Yeah.
Or you could fucking go and just buy the shit yourself and do it. And again, for some people, that's a good option to go rent it. Others, it's not. To me, that's throwing away money. Because after a certain amount of time, you would have spent enough money to where you could have just bought the shit. So you could have just waited another 4 months and saved up and then just fucking bought the shit that you needed.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but that's what you do. You're trading creativity for money, or you're trading a lack thereof and funding it yourself to be able to have creative freedom to do whatever the fuck you want.
But also not reaching anybody because you're kind of fucking delusional about your own music.
It could be, yeah. I mean, you very well could be. But again, to me, as an artist, that's more attractive. To be able to do whatever the hell I want, to have no one telling me what I can and can't do. Mm-hmm. That's the and that's probably why management companies exist, because people that have that mentality are very hard to rein in. Like, I'll tell you right now, like, ain't nobody gonna tell me that I can't do what I want. And just because you think you're paying me some money, you can go fuck yourself. That's not what we signed up for, or that's not what I signed up for. I'll just walk out the door. And there's a lot of fucking people that are, again, the people that are the creative types, they have that fucking attitude, and they're hard to manage. And that's why you need a management company so that the label can fucking have someone control this person so that they can get what they need to get out of them. Yeah. And also, when you have someone that's hyper creative like this too, you have all these other emotions that go in with it. Like there's an aspect of laziness. There's an aspect of, I don't want to do all this social media bullshit.
Yeah.
So again, that's what you're paying for, I guess, in them taking percentages of what you're doing, of what you're making. But you got to be making money so that they can have percentages to take. So I don't know. I think that there is a happy medium there with the maintaining the majority of your artistic integrity, while also complying and doing what the feedback is requiring you to do to stay relevant. And also, I mean, at some point, how much do you listen to your fan base? If you have an established fan base and they start to not like your shit,
yeah,
when do you make the decision to say, okay, do I say fuck these people and move on to a different fan base or try to attract different fans? Or do I acquiesce to what they're telling me that they don't like and change things, make changes?
Yeah, because then that turns into possibly having your audience for sure.
Yeah.
If you alienate half of your people.
But then now you're just people pleasing.
Yeah. And that's also a fucking dangerous road to tread, because then you end up sounding like everybody else if you do that.
Yep. And then that's also soul crushing, because then you have no fucking... You're just doing what people again, even though they're your fans, you're still doing what someone else is fucking telling you to do.
And that's what I fucking personally hate when it comes to social media. We're talking about artistic integrity, and I see people that are artists that are following trends on TikTok that they couldn't manage to do something themselves to set themselves apart, to really be somebody that is above and beyond what's already happening in music, that they're just willing to settle for just, this TikTok trend is happening right now. Let me hop on it and fucking do it. Or let me do covers. I hate that shit, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't know how long we could go with the subject, but how long is this episode?
20 minutes exactly right now.
Fuck yeah. Well, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, me too. Well, anyways, I guess we'll call it right here. If you want to go follow us on social media, you can go to Game Rage Magazine on Instagram, TikTok, and the YouTubes. You can also go to Game Rage Mag on Twitter. You can follow Adam and this show at All Gas No Trash Official on the Instagrams. And you can follow on substack.com/@ all gas, no trash official. And
sneeze rage.
He's gonna say now you're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna fucking kill it. It's not gonna be funny anymore.
Fuck. All right.
Anyways, if you wanna hear the inside joke about that, go listen to the Game Rage Movies and TV podcast episode where me, Frank, and Ruben ranked the songs from the Has Been Hotel, and we were all high and drunk and said a bunch of weird shit. So, anyways,
sounds problematic.
Oh, it's extremely problematic, but entertaining nonetheless. Yeah, all right, that's it. We'll catch you guys on the next one.